Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody, and welcome to Pangolin, the Conservation Podcast. The show dedicated to exploring and amplifying the world's underappreciated conservation stories. The stories that inspire me, and I hope will inspire you too. I'm your host, Jack Baker, and thank you for joining me once again for part 2 of the Pangolin Holiday Spectacular. This week we are back to finish our celebration of the festive season with my 3 fabulous podcast hosting, amazing, beautiful, wonderful guests. Ellen from Just the Zoo of Us, Vikram from Planthropology, and Ashley from Get Out Alive. Last time, we all suggested new holiday traditions, shared the moments we felt closest to nature in the past year, and Vikram and Ashley shared their favourite conservation success stories of 2022. So, this week it is mine and Ellen's turn, and we are up to talk about ours. Some fantastic, wonderful Floridian grasshopper sparrows, and some wonderful tree-dwelling mammals from Scotland. We also share some of you guys, the listeners' favourite conservation moments from the last year, and we reveal our naturey New Year's resolutions. So, sit back, grab a nice warm mug of hot chocolate, and, without further ado, let's get festive. I say last but not least, but I somehow feel last and definitely not least because it could be the longest of all of the responses we have had.
I'm going to try so hard to keep this. If y'all just don't say anything to me while I'm getting through this story, we'll be all right.
Okay. Well, Ellen, it's over to you.
Thank you.
Please take it away. Everybody get comfy.
Yes. Okay. So my story, I try to keep this local. I wanted this to be something that is Florida specific. I am a Florida native. I've lived here my whole life, and it's really important to me. And so I wanted to talk about a conservation story that's happening in Florida. And this is about a bird called the Grasshopper Sparrow, and specifically a subspecies of the grasshopper sparrow that is the Florida grasshopper sparrow. So grasshopper sparrows are these tiny little brown songbirds. They're named for their distinct song, which sounds like 2 little chirps and then a buzzing sound. And the buzz sounds like the stridulation of grasshoppers. So that's why they're called that. They make a little, like a insect kind of buzzing sound, which is really, really cute. And they live in grasslands and prairies. So a lot of people, I think when you hear about Florida, you really only think about like the beaches or maybe the swamps of the Everglades. But Florida has so many ecosystems. So especially in central Florida, you get a lot of legitimate grasslands and prairies. There's even a prairie in central Florida that when the Spanish first arrived in Florida, they called it the Alachua Savanna because it looks like, it's a big giant, it's not as dry as, maybe like an African savanna, but it's a big flat grassland. Florida's extremely flat. Sorry if you can hear my toddler. He's just outside my door. So in the thing about these little grasshopper sparrows is that they live in these grasslands and they rely on big kind of uninterrupted areas because they make these cup-shaped nests under the grass, in the ground. These are not tree-dwelling birds. They avoid trees. So they make their nests underneath the grass, and then on the ground, they forage for bugs and invertebrates and stuff like that. So they really rely on these uninterrupted grassland prairies. The problem is that by 2017, there were only estimated to be 15 breeding pairs of Florida grasshopper sparrows left. So about 80 individuals left of the Florida grasshopper sparrows. They were very, very few. And this was mostly because of like a combination of factors. Some of the big ones were invasive fire ants. As you can imagine, with a ground dwelling species, especially like when you've got a baby bird that can't get off the ground yet, invasive fire ants are a huge problem. Also flooding the grasslands, especially in like central Florida, because of the development of the coasts. You're getting a lot more flooding inland in Florida as like some of our natural storm barriers are being like developed and done away with. We don't have as much protection from flooding, so they're getting a lot more flooding than they're used to. Also, the conversion of their prairie habitats into like agricultural fields or development or things like that. So lots of things working against the grasshopper sparrow. That's kind of setting the stage. Things are not looking great in 2017, 2018 for the grasshopper sparrow. And then the White Oak Conservation, which is in Yulee, Florida, which is really close to where I live. It's like an hour away. In partnership with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, they started breeding Florida grasshopper sparrows. And they started releasing the sparrows into the wild in May of 2019. And then the biologists just kind of kept tabs on them, kept an eye on them. In the next year, so in 2020, they found that a lot of the released birds had begun breeding and were, repopulating. And they found that of the wild sparrows that they found in that area, over half of them were children of the captive bred grasshopper sparrows. So they were really taking off. They were doing really, really well. And by 2022, the reason I chose it as like a conservation story for this year was that they have really been brought back up in numbers a lot this year. This year they released the 501st captive bred grasshopper sparrow. That's not to say that there's like now 500 grasshopper sparrows. That's just how many they've released at this point. And they're doing really well. They're up to, I saw an estimate of like 200 Florida grasshopper sparrows, up from 80, which is great. Amazing, huge growth. But of course, captive bred release isn't everything that's contributing to their recovery, because as we all know, you have to also protect their habitat to make sure that they have somewhere to live once you've released them. If you're not conserving their land, then where are you going to put all these sparrows? So this is the story within a story that I mentioned to you before we started recording. There was a secret second story inside of this story. One of the biggest habitats for the Florida grasshopper sparrow is on this property, this 27,000 acre property that's called the DeLuca Ranch, which was owned by the founder of Subway, Fred DeLuca. So he owned this 27,000 acre plot of land in the middle of Central Florida. So the ranch, this huge swath of land, was slated for development into a massive new city, a huge urban development sprawling throughout Central Florida. It was going to be called Destiny. And they had all these plans that like they were gonna make it like sustainable and eco-friendly with like nature trails and okay, but they were still gonna develop it into like a big urban city. It fell apart in a train wreck of legal issues. It was like they said in like the early 2000s, like they had unveiled these plans and then it just fell apart over time. They started bickering with each other, like nobody was getting anywhere with it. There was just like legal issue after legal issue. One of the guys that was like designing it went to jail. It was a whole thing.
Ellen, was that their destiny?
Yeah, apparently their destiny was
I can't work like this.
complete failure. So it failed. And Fred DeLuca passed away in 2015. After that, his widow, Elizabeth, donated the entire 27,000 acre property to the University of Florida.
Yes, let the women do the work.
Oh my, that's amazing.
Yes.
This is like redo Hamilton, but about this.
Yes,
because
thank
and like
you.
have that twist at the end where the wife is actually, of course, the best thing of the whole story.
The one doing the work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so she donated the entire property in November of 2020. I don't want to give too much praise to the rich people in this story because first of all, Fred DeLuca was the one that was going to develop it into a big giant city.
Fair.
And I have a feeling that this was just kind of a big, huge like money sink for them that they were just like bleeding money out of because they had to pay, property taxes and everything on it and they weren't getting anything off of it. So I feel like this was maybe like a big tax write-off situation. I feel like there was maybe a little bit more to this than a big, let's do a nice thing kind of move.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that aside, something good came out of it, which was that
Mhm.
University of Florida was given 27,000 acres of land in Central Florida. And so now the university is able to like maintain that land. So they have, their plans basically are to use it for conservation, but also for research, use it kind of as like a living classroom. So they can take students out there and learn forest management and land management and ecology, use it for field research, all sorts of stuff. There's so much they can do with this land, but the most important one is not turning it into a giant city, which is amazing.
Named Destiny.
Yes. What are you doing?
How self-important.
I
Ugh.
don't know. Yeah, ridiculous move. But so like this preserve is obviously home to, the Florida grasshopper sparrow, which is almost extinct. But it also houses things like the Florida panther and gopher tortoises and very like struggling species that really need that space, especially as a wildlife corridor. So like to get from one habitat to another, it's really important that that land stays uninterrupted by things like, giant highways slicing right through the middle of them. So big win, huge win for conservation to have that land, set aside. There was also a conservation easement placed on the property. So basically it's like you can't develop on it now, which I think is really, really cool.
Good.
Yeah, it's amazing. So they're doing some great work out there. It's called the DeLuca Preserve now. And I just think that was a great story. That was a really interesting story within a story, I think. And things are starting to look up for the Florida grasshopper sparrow. Another one to keep an eye on, right? Because they're not out of the woods just quite yet. But it's looking a lot better than it was in 2017 for them. So happy
I
for my
wonder
little
if
bird
part
friend.
of the reason that they couldn't develop was because of the endangered species.
I
Like, did you
doubt
find
it.
anything about that?
I don't think that was it. I think it was just
Ugh,
that like
that
they
sucks.
really couldn't come to agreements, about financial. It seemed like it was a lot of
Wow.
boring financial and legal issues that like they really couldn't sort out. And it was just, this was also around the time of like the 2008 economic crash. So like it was just
Mm,
kind of it just never really panned out and it went south and they never did anything with it, which makes me think like I have to, that's why I don't want to give the landowners too much praise for this, because I feel like it's like you weren't always going to do that. It's like after this
no.
business deal fell through, then they were like, oh, well, if we can't make a ton of money off of it, then yeah, sure, give it to conservation.
Fine.
Right. So like the ultimate result was a good thing. I can't give them too much praise for that, but it is still great news.
Mhm. And I love it because all the way through that in my head, after I learned that it was called Destiny, repeating, and again, this may be a niche reference, some of you may get it, some of you may not, but is the clip of RuPaul critiquing somebody and sending them home being like, impersonating Beyonce is not your destiny, child. And I'm like, making money on a housing estate is
No.
not your destiny, child.
It certainly was
It was not. Oh no, I like that. Another one to watch. I'm appreciating these like, let's see where this goes. Because we've
Yeah.
got some good news and then top it up with like excitement to look to the future. That's really, really interesting. Really,
Yeah.
really interesting. And like of all the so Florida, as you were on the show earlier this year talking about the weird, wonderful, magical, incredible, bizarrely diverse species of Florida. Why, when it came down to the end of why this one in particular? Like, what was it about the grasshopper sparrow?
I think because not a lot of people know about them. They're
Mm-hmm.
kind of an underwhelming, like not a super charismatic little bird because, they're a little. You get that thing, especially among like bird watchers, of like it's a little brown bird, right? Like there's nothing particularly flashy, or eye catching about them, so people kind of ignore them or don't know that they're there, which I think is results in a lot of people not really caring about. Oh, well, why should we care if we develop their habitat, because there are tons of little brown sparrows. Who cares about this one in particular? Even though this one, functionally is very different from other sparrows in the way that it like where it nests and what it does on the ground and things like that. So I think this is one not a lot of people know about. A lot of people, you hear a lot about our panthers and our manatees and our snakes and all sorts of stuff. But this is one that goes under the radar a lot. But it's a really cute little story.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. I love it, and it's like, yeah, I appreciate. I don't know. It's strange to me though that it wouldn't go under like it goes underappreciated because I remember like when I was in Tucson, I went to the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum,
Mm.
which for all of you who are in the country get to that state and go to that museum as soon as you can if you haven't been there, because it was fantastic. But like they had a rare hummingbird spotted on site, and the number of birders, or is it twitchers, birders and twitchers and all sorts of people with big cameras and binoculars were like apparently had descended and were all stood around this bush like just to try and like get a tiny little glimpse of this hummingbird, which to me, like as with probably the sparrow, didn't look any different to any other hummingbird. Like it was beautiful and it was incredible. So it shocks me that like maybe that community is more into these little weird little sparrows, but like
Mhm.
I'm shocked like more people wouldn't be, because it's a shame. It's a shame.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as someone who doesn't know anything about birds, it's a cute little bird.
It is a cute little bird.
I looked at it, I was like, hey, that looks like a cute little bird to me.
It is, but
Ah.
it's also like there's not a lot to set it apart visually from a lot of the
Right.
other
Mm.
cute little brown birds that you might see around. So like it could probably go completely unnoticed.
You know, it's interesting. This is a little bit of a tangent, but we recently had I'm running into things and making sounds. I'm sorry. We had a rare grosbeak. Grosbeak? Is that it? Am I making that up? Spotted in the horticulture garden that I run on campus a few weeks ago, and there were like dozens of birders like descended on my garden. I didn't know what they were doing. They were just like people with giant cameras and stuff out, and I was like,
And you were like, for
And-
me? Oh, it's my
Yeah.
photo shoot.
I was like, they thought it was weird that I was just posing in the trees because I'm like, well, that's pointing that way anyway. But so I guess when I was out there one day, they saw it and they're like, oh, there it is. I'm like, cool. Looks like a little bird. They didn't appreciate that, but I don't know. But that's so cool. I love the munch squad of a story you threw in there. Your story in a story.
Yeah, it was it was a nesting story.
Yeah, that was cool. Well, and
Bird
that
jokes.
27,000 acres is
That's a lot of land.
that's a lot of land.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a huge chunk of Central Florida, and like all of it is complete. Like some of it was like farmland, like ranch land and stuff like that. But for the vast majority of it is just undeveloped, like wilderness, which is really really cool.
Yeah. The secret story makes me think this is when we find out Ellen is secretly sponsored by Subway. So
If I were, they would revoke their sponsorship immediately because I am not being incredibly flattering of the way they're portrayed in the story.
She just pulls out a foot-long sub, like it's just like hiding on her desk.
for the rest of the episode, if everybody could end every sentence with the words "eat fresh," that would just be perfect. That would
Actually,
be.
I think it's illegal for Floridians to promote Subway because we're contractually obligated to promote public subs instead. It's got to be pub subs for us, so we're not allowed to promote competitors.
When I went to Florida, like when I was younger, we went to Disneyland and like all of the like things. Nothing does my like Disney, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, all of these things. Nothing gets brought up more than Publix.
Did you have
And
a pub
I don't
sub?
know why. I didn't even know. I didn't even have people. We just loved it. My family just loved the shop. They just
Jack's like,
loved
why are
the
you
shop.
asking me if I went to a grocery store?
Well, like I went to a grocery store, but I didn't eat the sub. But like it's something that gets brought up more than it should, and I
The
don't know
lifestyle.
why. I really don't know. Oh, but
It's because it's such a staple of daily life in Florida. If you need literally anything, you go to Publix. We're there like every day. It's just a part of the architecture.
See, I always think maybe this is too stereotypical. I'm stereotyping America, but I think of
We
Walmart
no.
and
serve it.
Target, not like.
Yeah.
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
have
we've got
thought of
those too.
Publix.
But like I think Ashley and Vikram, I don't think y'all have Publix where you live.
We
No.
don't.
No, it's like a Southeast regional thing.
You're missing out, clearly. So, like, get down there. Don't go to Disney. Don't go to Universal. Get down
No.
there for the subs.
Get you a pub sub.
We have a grocery store called HEB, which I think stands for Herman E. Butts. Anyway,
Wow.
that has nothing to do with anything, but
No, American grocery store rivalries get pretty fierce. So I don't think you want to
Oh,
go
yeah.
down this particular
kind
road.
of wild.
I didn't realize that. Maybe that's another podcast. We can fight about the best grocery stores in America next. That can be a whole other segment. No, that's fantastic. Any other final follow-up questions for Ellen?
I dare you.
No? Oh. That's not in the festive spirit.
I don't
That's
know why
gotta
I'm
be
bringing such a
positive.
confrontational energy to the podcast
You are.
today.
You're like, yeah.
I'm in a mood, I guess.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, nothing sums up the holidays more than people arguing about pointless little things.
That's true.
So that's
extremely on
really the
brand.
essence of what we're bringing, I think.
I'm falling on that grenade for y'all.
And we appreciate it so deeply. No, now, I guess it's my turn, my story. So, I decided, because we had two birds, plants. I tried to pick something local to me as well, inspired by Ellen, but also something different. So I went with mammals. I have been accused in the past of having a mammal bias, and I think that's true.
That's fine.
So we're just going to embrace it today. And so, yeah, the story that I kind of went with was one that I saw kind of earlier in the year, and then it came back up in November. So it was kind of like a two-parter, which I thought would be a fun one. Um, and that is here in Scotland. We have a war raging between two different types of squirrel. And I don't know if you are familiar with this problem in the UK. So the UK used to be home to the native red squirrel. And it is a beautiful, tiny little squirrel, the perfect like postcard image of a squirrel. And then some time ago, the species, the grey squirrel, was imported, bigger, chunkier. And not only that, it also carries a disease which kills the red squirrel.
Oh.
So throughout time, starting down, the grey squirrel has kind of moved up from the bottom of the UK, and the red squirrel has kind of been pushed up and up and up. And eventually it kind of reached this point where there's a river that's kind of cuts across part of Scotland, and it kind of leveled out there where the red squirrel was kind of above there and the grey squirrel was below, and they were happy, whatever. But then grey squirrels be grey squirreling, and they started pushing up. And so we needed a hero, someone to step out of the darkness and into the light to protect our beloved red squirrels. And that animal was the pine marten, which I don't know. Yeah. Clearly, by Ashley's reaction, you know what a pine marten is. Vikram is
Yes.
Googling.
I'm
Beautiful. So beautiful. I knew it was going to be, as soon as you were like, we needed a hero, I was like, it's a mustelid. It has to be a mustelid.
And
he's just a little guy.
they're really sweet little guys. Yeah. And like, they're these things that like, I have never seen one in the UK, but they are here. They're around. They are fantastic, very cute, charismatic. Like, I don't know why we don't talk about and celebrate them more, because they are brilliant. And so what happened was a group of people from Forestry and Land Scotland. There were pine martens kind of present in the kind of battleground in the middle, where there was the kind of grey squirrels were advancing, and so they set up nest boxes for pine martens to try and encourage them to reproduce and increase their number, because pine martens love to eat grey squirrels. So what they will do is, if they increase the number of pine martens, hopefully they will eat the grey squirrels, and the red squirrels, they're smaller and nimbler, so they can get away, whereas the grey squirrels aren't quite as fast, so they get eaten. And so, yes, I think they said they installed 30 of these boxes along kind of this area where they were trying to protect. And yeah, it had huge kind of success. The pine martens have reproduced to a huge amount this year. They have started, hopefully, if the theory is working, protecting the red squirrels, eating the greys. I think there's also voles in the area which they like to munch on. So they have that there as well. And then also a second kind of cool, I am doing a story in a story as well. It's cool development that's been happening within one area that I think is really interesting, is they need to, obviously with the increase in pine martens, they want to keep track of how many are increasing and how many, like, so they can know, okay, what's the impact of these boxes that we're putting out? How is it going? To try and encourage them to reproduce. So they've developed a way of using kind of heat sensors to see what's going on inside the nest boxes, because previously they'd have to go up and like look every time they wanted to see, oh, are there pine martens in here, are they reproducing? But that would disturb them, stress them out, could impact, if they wanted to kind of reproduce in that area, they might no longer feel safe. So they've developed these kind of heat sensors that they can point at the box and see if there are pine martens developing in there. So mine is also
Aw.
kind of a developing story. I know, it's like great. So mine is also a developing story. It's a story that is going on in Scotland, which I love, and I think it features 3 very charismatic. I kind of villainized the grey squirrels there,
That's
but
fine.
yeah,
They can
I do
afford
love
it.
them.
It's
So it's
fine.
there are a lot
They're
of them.
fine.
Yeah, so you know, it's fantastic, and like you should like if you ever visit Scotland, the way we talk about red squirrels, if you see a red squirrel, it's like you have run into a celebrity. There's not many people here up in the Highlands, but you see a red squirrel, you're like, everyone is in awe, they're amazed, and so it's nice to know that they are gaining protection through another very fantastic creature, the pine marten. So yeah, that's
I-
kind
That
of my
is
tale.
so
Okay,
funny.
so are red squirrels the cute ones that have the little tufty ears?
Yes.
Okay. And the gray squirrels look like they've been in like bar fights constantly for
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I can't
We
wait
have
for next year when your conservation success story is about the new predator that you have to introduce to take care of the pine martens.
I was just gonna say that because I was like, oh man, in Hawaii they released mongooses, who's to say, to try to, I forget, I think it was go after rats, and then the mongoose just started eating everything else. And I was like, huh, mustelids will eat pretty much anything. So I'm very interested to see where this goes.
Oh yeah, they're
See,
so
this-
mean. They're so mean.
See, this is the like I love them, but like yeah, and they were in the area naturally, which I think helps. They weren't
That's
just like
cool.
randomly dropped there. They're just kind of
Yeah.
encouraging a population. But like if you give them bed and ample food, that is just gonna
Sure.
skyrocket numbers. Yeah.
I'm just worried about a little old lady who swallowed the fly sort of deal where you're like, now you've got to bring in something bigger now to take out the pine martens, and you
Bring
just
back wolves.
Yeah, I was gonna say just releasing wolves and stuff. So I had to look up again most of these animals, and this is maybe the cutest thing I've ever seen.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
And here's a picture of one I'm looking at. You probably can't see it very well. In London, carrying a loaf of bread.
Oh,
It is not a squirrel
How
that it's eating; it's
folksy.
a loaf of bread that it's eating. Yeah,
Mm.
I know.
It's like
I know.
it sounds like it comes out of a little children's book. Like, this is Mrs. Pine Marten coming home with a loaf of bread.
I was about to do that impression, and I'm so glad you beat me to because mine might have had some grasp on reality because I'm at least from a similar country.
No.
my voice probably could stretch there. But no. No, I love that. I love it so much. No, they're fantastic. And like, yeah, and I don't know where I was going with that sentence. I just started it and didn't know where it was going to end up. But
It's okay.
the
well, I was
classic.
gonna say, Jack, I think it's funny that in Scotland people love red squirrels because here in the Northeast in America, people are like, red squirrels are the worst. They are so mean. We
No.
highly prefer gray squirrels. I mean, I think Scotland's red squirrels are cuter and less nasty than our red squirrels, but ours are not nice at all and like try to outcompete the gray squirrel. So
That's really weird. Like it's like the
Yeah.
opposite. Like interesting. I
Mhm.
wonder. Maybe there's a cousin of the pine marten you can introduce, and then like
we
have
do
the fo-
allegedly have pine marten and fisher, but they're just like, there's easier options.
No, that's interesting. And actually, now I've remembered where I was going with my. Thank you for that because that was useful because it gave me time not only to process your excellent narrative but also rethink on mine. No, I was thinking about the wolf comment because I feel like it's something we talk about a lot in Scotland and it gets brought up every year. So this is another developing story. Is like we in the UK basically killed everything that is big. So the biggest animal we probably have on land is a deer, and the biggest carnivore is a badger. And a badger's not going up a tree after after a pine marten. As much as it might like to, it's not. It's probably not going to catch it. So no, I wish like there is a little part of me that deep down is like, well, I mean, we could just put some wolves and see what happens.
Sprinkle
like,
some in. It's
yeah,
probably
there's-
fine.
There's definitely discussions about lynx because I feel like people are less scared of lynx.
Oh, yeah.
So like
Huh,
they're a bit more
that's
like
weird.
yeah.
That's
like-
the gateway predator to wolves. It's your stepping stone.
Yeah.
Lions, bears.
We're working our way up to wolves.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we really want to go back to Pangea. We're going to just push it all the way back. Giant reptiles, giant bugs, everything. Just release
Reject
it, see what
modernity,
sticks.
embrace tradition.
Embrace Pangea. We need a really big tugboat.
We need to all
long
just
ropes.
start walking back into the ocean very slowly.
Return from whence you came.
Yeah,
So-
speaking of wolves. Oh, go ahead, Vikram.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of wolves, I'm very surprised no one mentioned Colorado's plan to reintroduce wolves.
That one
because-
feels a little more controversial than I'm willing to tackle.
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, wolves in general, I think, are hard to tackle
Mhm.
for anybody. But
Well, they're big and they have teeth. I wouldn't tackle one. I'll see
yeah.
myself out. I'm so sorry.
Smart man.
I was gonna say you started you talking about mustelids and the pine marten. I'm gonna throw in a bonus story because I'm choosing chaos. So this is a animal one, believe it or not. Has everyone seen a prairie dog? Do you know what a prairie dog
Yes.
is? Okay.
I've seen them
We
in a
are
pet
over-
store, which is not where I thought I was going to see them.
Yeah, they sell
That's
them in pet
bad.
stores.
People just like have
And they'll-
them.
And
No.
they'll like
Don't do that.
They'll like straight up give you the plague and bite your fingers off.
I was
No, they're
gonna
not
say.
nice.
Like they're one of the last, I think, reservoirs of the bubonic plague. And like we see plague pop up along the US-Mexico border because of prairie dogs, like on a regular basis, the Texas-Mexico border. They're mean and they're big and they're weird and funny, but we're overrun with them here where I live. Like they are a aggressive they're not invasive because they like we're here, but they're looking at reintroducing black-footed ferrets to my part of Texas to help take care of the prairie dog problem. And they are a Texas native, and it's been ongoing for a while, but it's an interesting thing. And I read a local article earlier this year about it, and just like anytime anything like this happens, there's people that are like, all the ferrets, and people are like, no ferrets, I love the prairie dogs. But it's just, I don't know, it's really interesting. And when Ashley said that they'll eat pretty much anything, like, yeah, just let them go. Let them take out these prairie dogs that are
Yeah.
the same size as them.
I like that mustelids are
That's
the
so
go-to
cool.
like mercenary, like
Yeah.
ecological sort of like assassin that you're like, yeah, we need this one taken care of. I know a guy, and you call up
Release the ferrets.
the mustelid, you're like, I got somebody. He works
He's
discreetly.
got like a trench coat and an eye patch.
Yeah.
He says, I don't do that anymore. I'm retired.
I'm picturing them in like a dark, smoky bar. There's a
Mhm.
raccoon in a Santa hat in the corner, just with a pipe. Like, this isn't the job for me.
The ferrets are definitely smoking something unfiltered, just drinking straight bottom shelf scotch.
Yep. There's a reindeer eating mushrooms on the bar, just like.
I'd watch this movie.
I don't remember the scene of Zootopia.
Sequel?
Yeah,
Uncut.
it's a much darker. It took a hard left in the sequel. It went real bad, real fast.
The first one was
no.
already pretty rough, so the second one,
Yeah.
oof, what a wild ride.
Oh. No. To move swiftly on from that, I wish. Oh,
So sorry.
I am enjoying painting that picture. I want someone. I want to get a bit of merchandise that's like the dogs round the like poker table.
Mm.
But
That'd be adorable.
like all of these different animals just doing sketchy things, like in a bar,
Participating
I
in
want that.
crimes.
Yeah, any wildlife artists out there, if you're listening, I will pay you handsomely if you do this. We need 4 copies, and we would love them forever. No, I love that. Fantastic. Oh, this has been so much fun. I'm loving. This has been great, guys.
I know. We should do it again sometime.
We should do it again. Let's make it more than once a year. If only
I will
Christmas came every
say-
month.
I was going to ask you all to come on my podcast, but I was like, it's hard to ask people what their favorite attack story was of the year.
I live in Florida. I've got some favorites.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like Florida, you are in the hot spot for these.
so
Mm.
much.
I have an
Yeah.
unfair advantage.
Yeah, I was attacked by a crow once, and I've been bitten by a lemur, but that's about as exciting as it gets.
That is pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. It was while I was younger. We were in the Lake District at a zoo, And this lemur just came up, a red ruffed lemur came up and chomped on my hand. And my mum had to phone the doctor and be like, oh my God, like my son's just been bitten by a lemur. Like, what do we do? And the poor doctor was like, oh my, where are you? Like, are you somewhere in Africa? Like, she was like, no, we're in England. Just, but yeah, so it was it's a strong story. Not a great story. That's about it. But you know, it's an attack. It counts.
That does count. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. The crow is much more exciting because I was just walking peacefully home from the gym and then it decided it really didn't like me. And then I felt something hit the back of my head really hard. And I was like, what was that? And then turned around, looked, saw it was a crow and it was going in for another one. So in sheer panic, I was like, I can't beat this. It's flying. I can't fight it. I just started running. I was like, oh my God.
You were on the naughty list. That was one of Santa's helpers.
That's one of Santa's crows.
Yeah.
Santa and his attack crows.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Those corvids, I swear.
they're
Yeah.
evil.
The mustelids of the sky.
You know.
Oh, I love you people. You're wonderful.
Oh, and that's fantastic. And I don't know. I'm going to have to segue on. I'm going to have to, because otherwise we're going to sit here forever. And what I was going to do next is bring the fans in, but I don't know if they'd want to be brought in at this point. But we're going to bring them in because I asked them. I put a message out on social media and asked, what were your favorite conservation stories of 2022? And I thought I could quick fire through some of them because I thought it would be good to like widen our perspectives of beyond us four here. Because I think we focus a lot on bad stories a lot of the time, and so to take a moment at the end of the year to reflect on good stuff, I think is a good, nice, fun idea. And so people submitted a few things. First of all, we had Tash, who has been on my show, who drew a lovely rainbow pangolin
I have it.
after
It's
I
on my
appeared on yours.
laptop.
It's on the back of my laptop now as well. I love it. And so she said she also mentioned pine martens because they were released outside of London, just outside of London about 3 years ago. And for the first time in 100 years, a pine marten has been spotted in London. Perhaps stealing a loaf of bread, who knows? So a fun one. Marta, who I worked with actually at the Botanic Gardens in Edinburgh and now works for the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland, she submitted a story all about the Saving Wildcats program here in Scotland, which is a program to kind of help the Scottish wildcat. So it is, we call it the Highland tiger, but it is not quite as big. It's basically a little wildcat the size of a house cat. It's very fantastic, very cute. We spent I was teaching today at Edinburgh Zoo, and we spent a long time appreciating them frolicking in the snow. They're brilliant. And the Saving Wildcats Project aims to kind of repopulate the kind of number of those in Scotland because they faced issues, all sorts of conservation issues. One of the major ones being kind of hybridization with domestic cats because they're that kind of size. And so when they see cats that have been let out of homes, they go and they make baby cats with them, and that kind of drives the numbers down. But at the Saving Wildcats Project up in the Highlands, this is their first year, and they aimed to have 20 kittens born that they could maybe release next year, and they had 22 in 6 litters of cats.
Cool.
So yeah, very nice. They will be hopefully released into Scotland at some point in 2023. We had Eric, of course, mentioned the black-naped pheasant pigeon, which we mentioned.
Adam, real quick, I
Oh.
wanted to ask, is that program that
Okay.
you're talking about the one that the Netflix documentary, The Tigers of Scotland, is about?
I didn't even know there was a Netflix documentary. I know they're making a documentary.
There is a Netflix documentary called The Tigers of Scotland, and I've watched it, and it's really, really good. So I was really excited to be like, I know this one.
Oh my God. Oh, well, I hope so. I'm going to go, as soon as we're done recording this, I'm going downstairs and finding this documentary. Hopefully it's not a horrifying sequel to Tiger King, because
No,
I have not heard
This
about
is a
this.
good one. From 2018.
Oh, that's actually a while. So yeah, maybe it was kind of covering them efforts to conserve them.
It looks
I like
like
that.
it was originally acquired by Netflix in 2018, but is currently listed on Apple TV. So if you have Apple TV, try that.
Apple TV. No, well, I've been waiting because I've been building up because I want to watch Prehistoric Planet and all these things, and I'm
Get the
planning
free
on getting
week.
the week free.
Yes,
Yep, I'm
get the free
binging through
week.
everything in a
Spend
week.
your entire week.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. If anyone wonders why they can't contact me over Christmas, that's what I'll be doing. So yeah, I love that. So yeah, Ashley, you looked like you were gonna jump in there. Did you have something to say, or was I?
Oh, just Prehistoric Planet sounds fun.
It's extremely good. It's extremely good. Please watch it.
What is okay? I'm assuming it's about the planet a while ago.
It's a David Attenborough BBC documentary that's all about like dinosaurs and stuff that they've like used CGI to like bring back to life. But it's really cool because they incorporate like behavior of living birds into like the dinosaurs, and they take a lot of liberties, right? They like add stuff that like isn't supported at all by like fossil record, that they're like, wouldn't this be cool? Which I think I'm all for it. I'm like, yes, please do. It's great. It's delightful. It's beautiful. I know like Darren Naish from the Tetrapod Zoology blog was like one of the science consultants on it, and they had like a ton of paleontologists and stuff working like consulting on it, and it's narrated by David Attenborough, and it is just beautiful, and it's lovely.
It sounded like Prehistoric Predators on YouTube, if anyone's ever seen that. It's not narrated by David Attenborough, but it's about prehistoric predators, and like same thing, CGI, and like they take in behavior into account and stuff like that. Really
Yeah.
good. So anyways, I'll add that to my list.
All kinds of things to watch.
Yes, I love that. This is really, we just need to have a whole section at the end of like, I'll put in the like list, maybe the description of this episode will be so long of like, here are all of our references that we mentioned, plus all of the things we recommend you watch.
Lengthy.
Yeah, and it'll be bizarre because it'll be like WandaVision, Prehistoric Planet, just completely disparate ideas, but it'll be fine. So yes, I also love how we were like, I'm gonna quick fire this, and then because we're podcasters, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Unreasonable.
How about this? I'll shoot through the next ones, the rest of the list. There's only a couple left, and then we can come back, do them all at once at the end. This is my goal, is to get through this. Ellen, I can see her looking. You're going to make mischief. I can see it in your face.
I'm muting my microphone, so I physically can't interrupt you.
Okay. There is peace. So, next story. Now I'm going to stumble over all my words and just be like, oh God. Listeners, they're all laughing. It's chaos. It's
You're being
disaster.
haunted by my ghost.
The ghost of distractions past.
Oh, this is it. So which one of the three of you is present, which one is past, and which one is future? It's keeping on the Christmas theme of like...
Which one was the one that ate all the cookies? Because that was me.
Maybe that's in the Muppets version, I'm sure. That's yeah.
That's the best version, and I will die on this hill. All right, go on. Sorry,
okay,
I'll shut up.
We've got this. So Adam from ZSL, Zoological Society of London, wanted me to mention their successful breeding programs that have happened this year. They've had baby tiger cubs. They've had a little giraffe at Whipsnade Zoo, which is called Wilfred, which I think is the sweetest little name I've ever heard for a giraffe. And I also wanted to mention off the back of that, the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland, which I work for, because I have to one up London all of the time, of course. We had very, very, very sweet baby rockhopper and Gentoo penguins this year, as well as some very sweet snow leopards, who are just the most adorable, lovely things in the world, born in Scotland as part of conservation breeding programs. Speaking of the RZSS, Simon wanted me to mention their Pine Hoverfly Project, which is a project to successfully breed and reintroduce the Pine Hoverfly, which is a tiny little type of fly that lives in the Highlands of Scotland, was almost extinct. And then this breeding project kind of started in a shed, basically, at the Highland Wildlife Park in Scotland. And now there are hundreds of flies which are now being released back out into Scotland in the Highlands. And Dylan mentioned the release of 3 European bison into a piece of Kent woodland in an attempt to create a more natural and biodiverse area. So they've released bison, these kind of large herbivores, in an attempt to kind of get the kind of ecosystem going, knock down some trees, get it back to a more natural state where there was once big kind of herbivores roaming around. So they have released the bison. And as an extra bonus thing, one of those bison because animals be animaling, was pregnant at the time. Nobody knew, so there is now 4 bison, including one exceptionally cute baby bison roaming around the Kent woodlands. And so, yes, those are, you can unmute, those are our conservation highlights from our listeners. A kind of UK heavy focus, but I think they're all very cute, wonderful stories. So I think, yeah. Good
Are
to
you
mention.
accepting interruptions at this time?
Yes, Ellen, I can see you're going to explode, so go for it.
We've also reintroduced bison in Florida. I'm just saying.
That's it. Where?
Not
Tell
like
us
this
more.
year. Not this year, but it's been ongoing since the 70s. It's in Payne's Prairie, which is the Alachua Savanna that I mentioned earlier. It's near Gainesville, Florida, where University of Florida is. And there were originally bison there. When the Spanish came in, they basically eradicated them. And then now they're reintroducing bison with bison from elsewhere. We have gone to Payne's Prairie, which is like a 2-hour drive, specifically to try to see them. We did not see them, but it was still a cool trip. But yes, they are reintroducing bison. They're like from elsewhere in the country because the bison in Florida were completely eradicated, but they've brought them in from elsewhere and started repopulating Payne's Prairie. So there are wild bison there again now that you can still see.
I love that.
Really,
and
really
I feel
cool.
like that is
cool.
really cool. And
Yeah.
I feel like, Ashley, having your background in animal conflict, you must have a story about bison. You must have. There must be something you want to say about bison.
Yes. Okay. Well, my first interruption was going to be you said release the bison, which is a beautiful merch idea. And I think especially if it was like an angry baby bison that was like charging, that'd be really cute.
What if it's like
Angry
a
grouse.
what if it's like a very aggressive like energy drink logo that's like unleash the bison. Release the bison.
So there you go, Jack. But yeah, we talked about a bison attack story that actually happened in Utah because I think it was a similar thing. They reintroduced bison to this island and it hasn't gone well. Well, I mean, it has, but not for the people that visit. So
It's perspective.
Look at the fluffy cow. Oh no.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people think you can just walk right up to bison. This happens in Florida where like Floridians are not used to bison and don't really understand like the amount of distance you need to maintain between yourself and a bison where like they'll just walk right up to them. Don't do that unless you
Yeah,
hate having functional legs.
Yeah, they're the most deadly animal in Yellowstone because so many people do that every year.
It's because they're so cute.
Well, I see all the TikToks and stuff of people like,
Ugh.
parked on the side of the road and the bison's walking down the street and they're like rolling down the window.
No.
Like stop, that thing's gonna murk you.
I think the best like video of a human responding to a bison is the video of that reporter who was like right outside. I think it was in Yellowstone. He's a reporter like on the side of the road about to do like a newscast, and he's got like his camera and mic set up and everything. And then as he's talking, you just see him look off in the background, and he goes, "Oh no!" And he immediately starts like you see him walk towards the camera and pick it up, and he doesn't even like waste time turning it off and stuff. He just walks directly to the car, puts the camera in the car and is like absolutely not, and like nopes out of the entire situation and like leaves, and it's because there was a herd of bison walking towards him.
Yeah,
Smart
when
man.
I went to Yellowstone last year, like Vikram was saying, I had my window down and saw the bison coming and rolled it right up and was like, no thank you,
No.
I'm all set.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, people. This is one of my friends, Jodie, who also co-hosts our podcast Razoo. If you are interested in zoo reviews, listeners, we go and do all that sort of stuff. She worked in a safari park where people would put their windows down and sometimes also get out of the car in a lion reserve in a safari park.
Nope.
So
No.
the fact that people are not scared of bison does not shock me at all. Like at all, because like I think people think that things can't come through windows. Like I don't understand that as a theory. Don't be patting.
I mean, cats are a liquid, and I'm pretty sure that like applies to the big ones too. It's like you leave your window cracked and it's full of lions.
I wonder. Could you get a bison in a car, or is it? I feel like it's mainly head.
Someone did that once with a baby bison and killed it in the last few years in Yellowstone. Yeah, sorry. See,
it's not good.
Black sheep depressing.
Well, bye everyone. That was
our Christmas
Merry
special.
Christmas.
And that's my podcast.
Yeah, that's the best. I feel like we really are highlighting the best elements of what makes each of our podcasts very distinct from each other in these last few hours. Any other particular, any more positive light? Any of the other stories you wanted to touch on? anything? I know, Ellen, you're a zoo person. Is there any exciting zoo births near you? Any things that...
Yes, I saw, well, I wasn't like there when it was born, but at the Jacksonville Zoo, they had an eastern bongo that was born, which is an extremely cute, like a very large
Mhm.
species of antelope that's very endangered. And I know this because one time when I was at the zoo with my family, we saw them, like, we saw the veterinary staff of the zoo weighing the baby bongo, where we saw them like holding it in like a big blanket, and we got to see them kind of like, they were just in an area where we just happened to be able to see them, and we saw them carrying around. And then last time I was at the zoo, just like a week or two ago, I saw the baby bongo out on exhibit, like, laying under a tree with the other adult bongos, and it was very, very cute. So yeah, baby bongo, big news.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's reminded me of my new favorite. I think I've changed it about 4 times. My new favorite nature moment of 2022 was earlier this year. They released a documentary series called Inside the Zoo, which was all about Edinburgh Zoo and the Highland Wildlife Park. It was produced by the BBC, was excellent. It was about all the behind the scenes work that goes on there. And there was a clip in the very first episode. And normally the BBC is quite like, with their documentaries, they edit it very clean. They make sure it's very like, because kids documentary, it's going to be, or like a documentary that would appeal to kids. And in the first episode, they were trying to weigh and move one of the polar bears that they have up there. And obviously a polar bear is a huge animal, and they left in the audio of what has become, I think I've said this 1,000 times this year, which was of the very Scottish man who was in there trying to lift the polar bear so someone could slide something underneath to weigh it. He's lifting it, and clear as day on the microphone you hear, "Just get it under its arse."
As soon as you said a very Scottish man, I was like, whatever you're about to say is going to be profane. There's about to be some bad words.
And it was fantastic. TV Gold. It should have won all of the BAFTAs, all of the Emmys. It was brilliant, and I loved it. But yes, I suppose on that very festive note, we should move on once again to our final section. Listeners, I'm so sorry. You've endured so much so far. You only have one section to go.
We've put you through a lot today.
Now that the introductions are done.
Welcome to the 12-part series, where we're going to be deep diving into the deep psychological issues of podcasters.
The 12 pods of Christmas.
No, the final question that I had for everybody was, we've celebrated Christmas, we've looked back on our wonderful 2022, the successes, the deep, dark, horrifying stories, the things to watch out for, everything that made 2022. But now we will look forward. And what I wanted to ask you all was, what were your New Year's resolutions? What are your things that you're going to be doing in 2023 that make, just to kind of either get yourself more into nature, kind of focus on wildlife more, to do with conservation, sustainability? What are your kind of naturey New Year's resolutions? Does anyone have one, or do you want me to start, or like where anyone immediately got an idea?
I kind of have one.
Okay,
in the sense that we have a plan already.
Okay, Ellen, take it away.
We are going in the spring for my birthday to Seattle, in the Pacific Northwest, which is a place that I lived as a child, and I'm really excited to go back to. So I'm really excited to go to Mount Rainier, where I spent a lot of time as a kid, and explore some of the really beautiful national parks in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know exactly what kind of animals we'll run into while we're there, but I'm really looking forward to seeing some that are very different from what we usually see down here in Florida. It is on the opposite corner of the continent from us, so it's going to be very different, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm hoping that I'll see some really cool critters up there, maybe some salamanders, maybe some, I don't even know what to associate with that area. Moose? We got moose up there. Maybe a moose. Maybe we'll see a moose. That'd be cool.
Do not ask Ashley about anything to do with a moose before you go, because you'll never want to see one again. I feel like that's the tone.
I know enough
Well,
about moose to know to keep my
Yeah.
distance, but it would be cool to see
Terrifying.
one.
Yes, they are.
That's the time, though. Harking back 2 hours to the beginning of the podcast, that's the time. Buy your Christmas jumpers now. Get up there. It's probably cold up in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know anything about the geography, but if there's a moose,
very
it's going to be
cold.
cold.
It's
There
much
you go.
colder.
bring them out in spring. It'll be fine. No, that's a lovely, like, I like that. That's a good. Is it going to be the whole fam goes up, or just a
No, just me and
spiritual
my
journey?
husband.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna go
nice.
up for my birthday and have a really nice time. I love my kids and I love traveling with my kids, but this is gonna be a just adults trip. The kids got to come to California. This one's just us.
just the
Yeah.
zoo of you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think if
That is the
we
cutest thing.
I was like, if we call it like a research trip, can we write it off for like business as a business expense? I wonder. Like,
Yup.
yeah.
If you do, let us know how that goes and if it works.
If the IRS is cool about it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love that is a good one. That's a good one to get us started, I think. Like, has anyone else thinking about it have got plans to do something like exciting? New Year's resolutions, thoughts, feelings, things they're gonna do? Do you want me to go next? Or Vikram?
Please.
I can go.
Okay.
So, I mentioned that I went and shot at that wildlife preserve recently, or wildlife refuge recently, and that was the only time I actually got out to shoot this past year. Just because I let myself get busy, and there's only like so many days a month where the Milky Way is easy to shoot, but it doesn't matter. Blah blah. I was looking on like Google Maps and just looking around, and there's like 6 wildlife refuges within a 3-4 hour drive of where I live, and most of them are like prairie ecosystem kind of places, and I'm gonna try to go shoot all of them this year at some point because they're really cool places. It's usually really dark in these places. They're perfect for astrophotography, and I'm gonna see. I've got a couple friends that like to go out and do this with me, so I'm gonna see if we can get out and see all these cool places and see some wildlife and some rare plants and take some pictures.
I love that. That's nice. That's another good. These are good holes. I need to get planning some trips because I do not have anything planned, and this is making me very jealous. No, that's fantastic. And like, yeah, any particular like, why those 6? Why like? Because you could have gone anywhere, I suppose. Why those ones?
Just because for the most part, my friends that I go shoot with, we all have kids and families and stuff. So it's we could drive out one day, go shoot one night, and then come back the next day. So quick trips that are manageable, that are just a good excuse to get outside.
Mhm. I love that. Yeah, and it makes it easier to commit to like I'm going to do this year because it's not like, oh, I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever it is on traveling around. No, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. And Ashley, what are thoughts, feelings, New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, I mean, my cop-out answer for conservation goals is that I'm just gonna be taking more classes about conservation. So, yeah, like in the spring, I'm gonna be doing wildlife crime scene processing and like some aquatic animal and fish crime class that has to do with conservation. Who's to say? So that's my cop-out for that. But I also would love, kind of to Vikram's point and your point, I don't have any plans for anything in particular. I've been to 3 national parks in my life. They're all out west. There is one a state away that I have just never gone to, so my goal is gonna be get there. Acadia National Park in Maine.
I love that. Yeah, that's very. Sorry, you did an excellent job there of not getting distracted. I'm sorry, listeners, you did not get to appreciate.
That was an
Ashley
Olympic
is a
effort.
pro podcaster right there because there was chaos going on. There was so much
Yeah,
cute
so sorry.
chaos, but chaos.
It was very cute, yeah.
I mean, I love how Vikram just said sorry, and if we left it there with no description, all the listeners are going to be like, Vikram did something really cute. I wonder what it
The
was.
raccoons got in.
This is a choose your own adventure podcast where you get to decide what happened to Vikram in the last 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And I think we should leave it a mystery. But no,
Oh no, absolutely.
yeah. But no, that was fantastic, Ashley. That is, yeah, I love that.
Reasonable goal, not trying to do anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just get one state away.
No, I love that. And I feel like I agree with I feel like the last like few years, obviously like within Scotland and over the pandemic and everything, I spent so much time exploring Scotland and getting close and like getting to love nature. And then the last year when things have been like obviously everything's still going on, but it was slightly more back to normal. I fell back almost immediately to pre-pandemic Jack, which was like working, focusing, sitting at a desk all the time, and not taking the time to actually go outdoors and appreciate all of those things that are in Scotland anyway, so close by. Like for all of you, like there's so much incredible things out there. So I'm planning on like, yeah, I want to go out and just reacquaint myself with nature in more of a like, yeah, formal, like in a less formal way than just sitting and reading and podcasting and these things. Get out there and actually see it.
Let's
'Cause,
hold
like,
each other accountable for that too. Let's
Yes.
check in with each other and be like, Vikram, did you take your shot this month?
We're gonna, we expect it posted on this day. If it's not posted,
Mhm.
there'll be aggressive
We'll
tweets
come for
coming
you.
your way. If Twitter's still a thing, if not, we'll find another platform.
Okay.
So one of us will cover like emails, one of us will cover Instagram, one of us will cover like Discord. We'll get you. No, I love that. Yeah. And yeah, I guess my like practical one as well. I was thinking about like what practical advice could I give? Was like I was thinking for the last little while, also pandemic problems, is I got so used to driving everywhere because I was scared to go on public transport because it gave me like this anxiety to be around so many people in cramped spaces. And I feel like I really fell off of the like, oh, I need to be green in my day-to-day life in terms of like transporting myself around. So I'm going to try, even if I have to wear a mask and even if I have to like cover myself in hand sanitizer, to really in 2023 work on getting back to like using public transport and using all these things that are there to make day-to-day life greener as well, which I feel like could be, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully all will be fine, and we'll get through it. I'm going to uni every day. I can get a train there. One way or another, I'll be using more public transport, hopefully, in the new year. And yes, unless anybody has any more thoughts,
The rest
feelings.
is still unwritten.
Just thank you so much. Thank you so much,
callback.
Ellen.
End it right there.
Oh, I love that so much. And on that note, we'll do a whip round one last time. Anything you want to promote, anything, where can listeners find you, like all that sort of stuff. We'll start with Ashley. Do you want to go first? Because you're next to me on the screen in my
Sure.
in my layout anyway.
Me too.
So yes. Oh, lovely. So yes. You go first. Where can people find you? What
Okay.
should they listen to? What should they do? Yeah.
Yes, all the things. So Get Out Alive podcast is on like pretty much any podcast streaming platform. You'd probably find this one on. Twitter at the Angryologist, Instagram Get Out Alive Pod, Facebook Get Out Alive Podcast, TikTok Get Out Alive. That's it.
Nailed it. I love this. Is my favorite thing is
Succinct.
listening to people who have like podcast closing spiels is my favorite. So Vikram, you can go next.
Yeah, you can find Planthropology on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's all. I am also the Plant Prof on YouTube and TikTok, for better or worse. You can
Guys,
find
you
my
need
big
to find
goofy face
Vikram.
there.
Yeah, Vikram's TikTok is high tier.
We could
So
have
good.
I have
recapped.
fun with it.
We could have recapped the year just based on what Vikram was angry about on TikTok each month, and I feel like that would have been just as entertaining. So really go back and enjoy those if you're on TikTok, because they are top tier. And Ellen, last but not least.
Yeah, we are just the zoo of us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have a Discord server that's really fun and sweet. I'm just going to say go to justthezooofus.com, and that has links to everything where you can listen to the show. And every single person on this episode has been on. Ashley talked about great horned owls, Vikram talked about plants, and Jack talked about pangolins. So we have an episode for everybody on this show.
Mm-hmm.
So those are great entry points for anybody listening. You could find one of those.
Mm-hmm. And the only episode I've not listened to of those is my own one, because I still haven't built up the courage to listen to my own voice yet.
I'm sorry. I never listen to, like, if I'm on another podcast, I do not listen to it. I can't do it.
Nope. No, I try. I listen to the first, I'll listen to your intro or listen to whoever's interviewing me's little intro, and then it gets to me and I listen to 10 seconds. I'm like, nope.
You're like, I think I get the gist of this.
Yeah. Yep. It's all fine. It's fine. It's all good. No, that's fantastic. And yes, as always, if you're new, thank you for joining us. If you're old and have been with Pangolin for a while, thank you for joining us as well and staying with us. Not old. Not Vikram. Stop laughing. Not old. If you're old, if you're a pensioner, thank you so much for joining us. If you're young, thank you for joining us. If you have been a subscriber for a while, that's what I meant. Thank
There
you
you
for
go.
joining us.
Sure.
To celebrate our Christmas, you can subscribe to the show, you can leave us a nice review, you can do all of those things on all of your favorite podcasting platforms, and you can follow us on all of the social medias at Pangolin Podcast, and you can follow me on Twitter at OnlyJackBaker or on Instagram at TheOnlyJackBaker. I'm on those two. And yeah, that is everything I had to plug as well. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Ashley, Vikram, Ellen, everybody for listening, everyone for being involved, everyone who submitted questions. Thank you all so much for joining me, because I know it's hard to pin lots of people down all at once, but you all made the effort to be here for Christmas, for the holidays, for the new year. So thank you so much for all joining me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, thank
so
you for
much
having
fun.
us.
Yes, I feel like there's a monthly or a biannual thing coming on now, because this has been so much fun. We'll just have to celebrate all of the holidays. We'll be like, here is
Yeah.
our Halloween special. That's the
Here's
Get Out Alive.
Easter animal attacks.
Yeah.
Halloween
Yeah.
special would be lots.
That would be.
We need to look up bunny attacks.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I would love that. Do that if you have not. Get that written down somewhere, because we need that episode. Right. And on that wonderful festive note, thank you all so much for listening. Look out for raccoons. Don't eat mushrooms. Reindeers are fantastic. Keep your eyes on pigeons. They are real. Don't let Vikram steal them if he tries to. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Until next time, thank you all so much for listening, and goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.